golden guns, competitive Overwatch, and a whole bunch of other cool stuff is finally here in the Overwatch PTR. Today, Overwatch got a PTR, which stands for Public Test Realm. This is basically a place where the Overwatch team will test upcoming patches before they push them onto the main client. If you want to try out the PTR, you can choose it in the region select area of your BattleNet launcher. Today in the PTR, we finally get a look at the upcoming competitive mode, as well as the all-new weapon skins area in your cosmetic loadouts. Now, while nobody has unlocked the golden guns in-game yet, I did get to see them in action when I visited Overwatch HQ last week, and I gotta say, they look pretty damn sexy. I'll talk a little bit more about how you can unlock these sexy skins in a bit, but first up, let's take a look at competitive mode. Now, I'm going to assume most of you know what competitive mode is, because it's just like ranked Dota, League of Legends, and Counter-Strike. It's all the same kind of stuff. When you first start up the game, you'll find a new selectable option in your play tab, which is for competitive. Competitive in Overwatch works in seasons, with each season lasting almost 3 months each, just like the real life seasons.
Welcome to Season 1.
At the start of each new season, your competitive rank is wiped and you'll begin again from the start. While we don't have all the information on competitive rewards yet, what we were shown last week was a unique season-specific spray given to each player at the end of each season, and if you reach a high enough rank, you'll also receive an extremely rare animated spray. When we saw it, you needed to be ranked 500th or higher in the world to receive it. That is right, the top 500 players in the world out of the over 12 million people who play Overwatch. I think they might tweak it to be a little bit easier to get later on in the season, but I guess we'll see. Maybe they do really want it to be that exclusive. So, when you first start competitive, you'll need to play 10 placement or calibration games before you're assigned to your competitive rank. Ranks in competitive range from 1 to 100, with 100 representing the most skilled players, although according to Jeff Kaplan, he thinks that this rank might not even be achievable, and you might see the very best sitting at about 99. Winning competitive matches will move you up ranks, while losing will obviously move you down. At the start of each game, all players' ranks are displayed on an opening screen, as well as the average rank for both teams. If there is a large enough team imbalance, one team will be assigned as an underdog. Winning as the underdog will reward you with an even greater rise in your competitive ranking, while losing will mean your rank is only reduced by a little bit. Since the beta, the Overwatch team have made huge changes to how competitive games work, and this new system is a really great improvement over the old one, and definitely makes competitive mode a lot more, well, competitive. The only unchanged area is control maps, which are still played as a best of 5 rounds. Competitive escort matches have been retooled around a stopwatch function. However, instead of playing for time, you're more competing for distance. The first attacking team will push the cart as far as possible, and when teams switch sides, this highlighted rectangle outline you can see on the screen here is left on the ground, showing how far the previous team moved the cart. If the newly attacking team can push their payload beyond this point, they win instantly. If, however, both teams reach the final point, regardless of the amount of time taken, the match moves to a sudden death. In sudden death, one team is placed on attack and the other is placed on defense. If the attackers are able to move the cart to the first capture point, they win the entire game. These sudden death rounds are played with a significantly shorter round timer, and the Overwatch team is going to keep rebalancing that timer until both sides have an even 50-50 chance of winning these sudden death rounds. Capture maps function more similarly to a traditional stopwatch mode. The first attacking team sets out to capture as many points as possible, and then their time remaining after capturing all the points is recorded. After swapping sides, the newly attacking team will then try to capture as many points as possible, and if they manage to capture the same amount as their enemy, sides are swapped again, and the attackers now play with the time they had remaining after their previous attempt at capturing all the points. Teams continue swapping sides and playing rounds with less and less time until one team is able to finish with more points than the other. If this sounds confusing, that's because it really is. Maybe it's just because it's the first day that competitive has been released, but I really think the Overwatch team might want to make a couple of tweaks to this mode, because right now matches could theoretically last for absolutely insane amounts of time. Now we're past that really weird control point explanation. Let's talk golden guns, because I think we can all agree that's what everyone's interested in. If you succeed in winning your competitive match, you'll receive 1 competitive credit. And right now, these can be spent on one thing and one thing alone, and that is golden guns. Unlocking the golden guns for each individual class costs 300 competitive credits. I wouldn't be surprised if, however, they add more purchasable items in the future down the line, so you've got a few different things to spend your competitive credits on. So, long story short, to unlock a single golden gun in Overwatch for just one hero, you'll need to win 300 competitive matches, which is kind of insane. Luckily, at the end of each season, you'll also be rewarded with a lump amount of competitive points to make getting those golden guns a little bit easier. But even with that, golden guns are going to be seriously hard to earn, and I really think that's a good thing, because it would be kind of weird and not that cool to have every single hero in the game running around with their own set of golden guns. So, that's it for this pretty amazing update today. We've got competitive mode, we've got golden guns, and considering that they've pushed that into the public test realm, I think it's safe to assume that we can see the competitive mode and all these other cool features getting pushed into the main client in the next week or so, especially because Jeff Kaplan has said again and again that they really want to release competitive mode before the end of June. So that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you're not subscribed, maybe consider hitting that red button down below. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you, legends, in the next one. Bye-bye.